Happy Friday, everyone. It's turned out to be a very, very nice afternoon. It's not quite nearly as cool as it's been, but it's cool enough to still wear, long sleeves and scarves and things like that. Yes, we deal with a little bit of, we definitely have a different circumstance out down here in South Texas. So I have had the privilege to get the opportunity to work with getting ready for one of the things that we do for the nonprofit that I'm the executive director of is put on a producers conference for local food producers, direct-to-consumer marketing producers, small agriculture, small farms, urban gardens, urban farms, organic permaculture, very focused on kind of the new agricultural industry that is in development. And so this will be our third producers conference of the year, and so I've spent a lot of productive time the last couple of days networking with some folks that I've connected with here in the States, here in Texas, but also outside of the state, to see what comes about with that. I'm really looking forward to how that event comes together this year, having a lot of support and getting a lot of good feedback from other presenters that I've made some pretty strong connections with. I'm really excited this year because in the past 2 years we've really focused more on business development and funding, and a lot of that comes with like the initial support that you're able to get something like that started is going to come from state agencies and federal agencies, and their focus tends to be on what kinds of funds can we give you, grant applications, and very specifically organizations that have been funded by federal or state funding to support business development for small producers, small farm producers. So this year what I noticed was that we just were still not, we were getting funding information, we're getting business development information, but the thing about it is that if you don't have anything to sell, it doesn't matter how great you are at marketing, and it doesn't matter how great you are at operations management and funding development and all of those kinds of things. If you don't have the education that you need for the types of production that you want to do. So this year we've got 2 other additional technical tracks that are going to be mixed into that'll be about vegetable production and livestock production. So I've really had a great opportunity to work on that, and I'm just now stepping out for the afternoon of doing some of that work and some other meetings and things I had to go to this morning to get out into some gardening in the backyard. And I am going to get started on a few things. I will show you that we got our fire pit up and running again last night. That's pretty fun. So we're now in the second weekend in November, and we're finally seeing some cool enough weather to have our fire pit up and running. But we had a little, you can see, pretty typical. We don't. You can tell we were hanging out, enjoying ourselves. And so that's nice to be able to invite some people into our backyard, and getting it to the point back here now where we are really enjoying being out in the backyard. Like I've mentioned before, we really haven't had a lot of that time available for us because we've spent so much time working on developing the nonprofit. And I've said, the idea of, well, if you don't have anything to sell, then what's the point of having a strong business? Well, one of the things that I noticed when I was actually producing something to sell was that we didn't have any place to sell it, and we didn't have a community that understood it, and we certainly didn't have the education available for a community to understand it. And so I basically had to go on a track of growing a network of community members, and education and advocacy, and in building a farmer's market. And so now I'm getting to go back to where my initial drive for this whole movement came from, which was my own garden, my own family, my own health, not to say that I haven't paid attention to my own health, but my own family's health, but, really getting back to the concept that, I'm a grower. As first priority, I am a grower. And that my backyard is open and welcoming to other people to see how we grow. And so that's been a nice opportunity to get to really work on that and really now begin to invite people into our backyard for that. I am going to do some gardening today. I am going to plant some cheddar cauliflower. I've only got about 6 or 7 seeds, so I'm probably what I'm going to do then is take this. I believe that I am not 100% sure that I remember what I planted in here. And it honestly does not look like I planted kale here, because the new leaves that are coming on do not look like kale. So I may have to experiment with that and learn about it. All right? Interesting. But I will actually label, once I get that, I will label the cauliflower better. But I'm going to transfer these into some bigger pots. Probably get enough of these, this size. I'm sure I've got more around. I may have to spread them out in some of the bigger pots. But I'm going to get that work done today. And also I've got a beautiful, I showed you yesterday, my New Zealand spinach is really doing really well. So I'm going to trim it up and we'll have some of that to cook with. And then I also did a baba ganoush video. It's not connected with this 50-day transformation, but it was another little quick video I did and was very happy with how that came out yesterday. So maybe y'all, if you're interested in baba ganoush and knowing what to do with all the eggplant that you get in the late summer, early fall in South Texas, that's something to keep in mind. I believe there's still eggplant available, but probably we're at the end of it at this point. You may still see maybe one more week of it, but we have a pretty heavy eggplant season, and I expect that next year, as we're really getting to know how to grow eggplants better, and then of course if we don't have a heavy freeze and we manage our winterize and prepare for our freezes a little bit better, we'll still have eggplants as the season starts to roll into getting into warm enough weather for them to put fruit on again. So anyways, that's my day, and I will see you all very soon. Be well.